Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're skipping the intro fluff and diving straight into the absolute core of ISO 9001 in pharma. We're talking about Module 7, Operations, which covers the massive and incredibly crucial Clause 8.
Picture your quality management system like a perfectly tuned, highly regulated factory floor. Clause 8 is the largest clause in the standard for a very good reason. It's the engine itself. It's where your product or service is actually produced and delivered. Every single step down the line adds this non-negotiable layer of control, basically extending GMP logic across your entire business. All right, let's start building this engine with Phase 1, planning and requirements.
So looking at clauses 8.1 and 8.2, this is where we absolutely have to lock down our operational planning controls. Before making a single operational commitment, you literally have to explicitly review all customer, regulatory, and internal organizational requirements. You're establishing strict criteria, you're securing resources, and you're actively controlling changes, both the planned ones and the unintended ones. Oh, and a quick reminder here, outsourced processes? Yeah, they remain entirely under your QMS control right from this very first planning stage.
Moving right along to Phase 2, design and suppliers.
Now, Clause 8.3 is actually super interesting because it clarifies exactly when design controls apply. Basically, it triggers whenever your organization designs or develops products or services within its QMS scope. Pure contract manufacturers might actually be able to formally justify excluding this. But if it does apply to you, well, you're required to have strict controls over planning, inputs, design reviews, verifications, validations, and of course, design change control.
Which naturally brings us to Clause 8.4, our supplier management workflow. The key takeaway here is that your level of control over external providers has to be strictly proportionate to their potential impact on your compliance. So it's a risk-based approach, right? Not just some blanket rule. You've got to identify and risk rate them, lock in a solid quality agreement, onboard them, monitor them using KPIs, and then requalify them based on a risk-based cadence, all the way through to a controlled exit. And make sure all the information provided to them is completely adequate.
Okay, let's play out a real-world scenario that perfectly illustrates a common blind spot. Imagine your CRO outsources data management to a subcontractor. So who controls their day-to-day quality? If an auditor spots a gap there, you're going to have to accept the finding and strengthen that quality agreement. Remember, outsourced processes are always under your QMS control. They are literally never not our problem. You absolutely must establish direct oversight and monitoring.
Now that the architecture is set, we hit Phase 3, production and release.
So here's a really crucial contrast. Under Clause 8.5, your daily production demands continuous controlled conditions. We're talking strict identification, complete traceability, preserving the product, safeguarding customer property, managing post-delivery activities, and rigorous change control. But we have to contrast that continuous daily grind with Clause 8.6, which covers release. Release acts as the ultimate strict gatekeeper.
I want to really emphasize this. Release is a highly deliberate act. It's not automatic, and it's definitely not time-based. It absolutely requires the satisfactory completion of all planned verifications, with records tracing directly back to an authorized release authority. Finally, we reach our fail-safe, Phase 4, controlling non-conformances.
Under Clause 8.7, you have to be relentlessly disciplined. You must identify and segregate non-conforming outputs to prevent any unintended use. Then you have to formally disposition them. So whether that means correcting, segregating, returning, suspending, or maybe getting a customer concession, you have to meticulously retain those records. Never ignore them, and absolutely never just discount the product and ship it anyway.
I'm going to leave you with this undeniable truth about the operating engine we just mapped out. Operations is where ISO 9001 either delivers value or fails customers. It requires intense, unyielding operational control. So take a hard look at your own floor today. Are your operations truly delivering that value, or are there blind spots just waiting to be found?